Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Alright, so I have this chat thing up here, and I don't even know if it's working. If I don't get it working now, I'm just gonna fucking delete it. Um, but yes, sir, yes, sir. We'll wait a little bit just to get some people in. I'm just gonna go ahead and load some of the submissions we got. Um, let's see. And yeah, this is one of the first of many public streams. I started off doing this on Patreon, um, but it doesn't make sense to just have it on Patreon. Anybody can watch it if they want to, but I'll make submissions only through Patreon members. So that's what I'm gonna start doing it. And let's do our first one. It's been a slow day for me. Haven't gotten much done, but I'm here for it. Okie dokie. First person we got, Avada. Let's see what you got. Said you want feedback on the mixing, sounds like, and strong song structure. Tear me a new one. Sorry if I uploaded twice. Well, it's only the first one I've seen, so let's get to it. Okay, cool. Everybody else is supposed to hear that. Awesome. Okay. So I put down some notes, a little bit of what I thought. Yeah, the chat isn't working. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. I'm just gonna delete it. I've been streaming on just like regular OBS, but I need to like actually use Streamlabs for it because it just has everything made for streaming. So yeah, I'm just gonna delete these. I'll have it next time, just ready to go. The only way I could test it is if I was like pretty much live. It was not really fun, but anyways. Just gonna change this real quick. Pretty awesome. Okay. So the intro is really nice. I don't know what that like scratchiness is. It sounds like you had like machine gun bass or something there. I will say those like hi-hats you have going on are really washy hi-hats. It kind of sounds like you have white noise as high pass and it's just like sweeping in and out. Not very tasteful, in my opinion. Pretty messy. Just use a lot of cleanup, or just swap out the cymbals entirely. Try to use something that's cleaner and not so washy. I mean, there's like little metal packs out there for like metal drums where you can get like China cymbals. Typically that's like what metal bands use. They use China cymbals for that like 4 on the floor kind of energy that you can get. You could use a ride. That would also work pretty well, I think. But I think you probably, if you want to keep this kind of sound, you should probably go for like a China cymbal of some sort. I hear like a crash layered on top, which sounds better, and you can probably keep that one. It's just like that white noise thing. Okay, at this point it's getting pretty boring. Yeah, you had 8 bars of this entire sequence, and the sequence is too boring to warrant another 8 bars. Dude, actually, your structure is pretty strange here. I don't know if you wanted feedback on the structure. Oh, you did, okay. But you have like 8 bars of the intro here. And then another 4. And then it goes into a 4. It goes just into a 4 drop pre-drop. Is that what I mean? I don't know what's going on. Okay, you have 8 bars, and then you have another 4 bars of this, so it's 12 bars. And then after that 12 bars, you have an 8 bar build up. That's strange. You need to cut this part out. I was counting, and you have like 4 extra bars here. So just cut that 4 extra bars out. Have that same transition, it should work. I was like really confused for a second there. What you could do if you want to keep it being that long is you can have something to go along with the intro. So this intro right here. Doesn't sound like that's that long, but you can extend it in that part. But still, you need to chop up that 4 bars right there. You have like an effect on the lead. I think it's a pretty good effect. It's like a detuney kind of sound too. I love that sound. But I think it should just be full wet once you get in the drop. There's some things you can do as well to separate it from the intro kind of. You could pitch it up an octave. It just sounds really similar to everything else that was going on. And at this point, when you have an intro with this much like energy and white noise, you're building a pipe. You want the hype to get to the drop, and when you start taking away elements that are really bright and prominent in the drop. So listen to the drop. you know, you have like your sub, your stereo, your high end and stuff. You want to slowly take that away in the build up so it's more impactful. So you kind of wrote yourself a little bit in a corner here with how you are gonna make the drop hit really hard. So I would advise you could kind of sweep it into a bandpass filter. So you can get 2 filters of some sort. You can have one be a high pass with a really steep slope at like 24 dB, and one like a low pass, and just turn it on in the buildup and have it center in the middle a little bit, so it like turn into a radio sound. You did the high pass here, but I think you can make the buildup a little bit duller so it impacts the high end, because there's a lot of high end in here. Like a sweep, like go with the filter on it. And for build-ups, this is a pretty decent build-up. I mean, it works, it's fine, but as if like with every other, oh, someone's calling me from Arizona, how lovely. As if with like every other build-up, it's just, it doesn't stand out, it's not interesting to me, and you have to make it interesting, because if you think about it logically, a lot of people are just gonna fucking skip the drop. They're gonna play this thing, and they're gonna see the little peak right here, and they're like, oh, it's right there, and that's all they're gonna try and listen to. That's like gonna be half your audience, just probably right there. They're gonna just immediately skip. You're gonna have a few people who are gonna like listen to probably a little bit of the intro, and maybe they'll skip around, be like, okay, well, this part's going on too long, or this part isn't as good as this part. You got to keep in mind that people are going to do that, and ideally you want to make your entire song really interesting so that they don't do that, because it's like listen time, how much people are listening to your thing, and how identifiable it is. I said in the last stream, like, if someone can play a small snippet of your song and be able to guess what song it is, then you are doing the right job. So think of like any dubstep song off the top of your head, just any one. It can be any artist. And what's the first thing you think of in there? You think of like a really interesting bass or like the unique thing in that song. You don't think of like I don't know, the like drop melody or anything. You don't think of like the just like really minute things. You think of like the vocal hook, the pre-drop, and in some cases it can be the sound design. Like one of the things I think about a lot for sound design is like a I guess I'll just say Murata, right? His, was it the Hero Bus remix or something? He has like a really cool metallic like bass in there, and I'm like, fuck, dude, that sounds sick. And I just think of that bass a lot when I think of the Hero Bus song. So you want to be memorable. With build up, you can add just, I don't have to like explain what you can add. It's just, you know, things you can do to make this more interesting. Go ahead and try it. Just spend an extra 15 minutes on this and you'll probably make the pre-drop way better. So I put down the notes here. Your bass is like super duper mono. It is very, very mono. Like it's way more mono than the intro. It's more mono than the build up. It's ironically more mono than this vocal. This vocal has more stereo width than this bass. And you have it downloadable. I can probably just like open this. I haven't done this in stream yet, but I could literally just like open this and probably see what's going on here. So can I switch? Oh my gosh, I can. Okay. But it'll show like the production live stream thing. So just ignore that unless you are subbed to my Patreon, I guess. Okay, look at this guy. I'll turn it on. Do I have like an imager that I can use? Signalizer, that's one. Signalizer, let's be that. Okay, so you see how fucking wide everything is. You can kind of see it a little bit. I mean, this is like accounting for everything in the drop, but you see the stereo width coming from the crash cymbals. But it's like way more mono in here. If I go to like, I'm changing the stereo width and you can't even tell the difference. Like stereo, right here. This shows it like a bit better. This is what I'm used to usually. I don't know how Signalizer usually looks, but like, look at this little line here. You can't even tell there's any stereo. Yeah. It's like no fucking stereo. This is 100% right now. This is 100% stereo. This is as rendered. And I'll make it 0%. And I'm just gonna morph between them. Your gun bass is like literally completely mono. You probably have like rerun there, maybe a little bit. I can hear kind of a bit of a stereo, but like it's entirely mono, dude. You need to add some stereo, some cool stuff to it. So that was like an immediate fix because you really want stereo in your bass, especially in your drop. Like that's a must. And also, don't be like too afraid of making your subs stereo. I think that's kind of like bad advice from people. Like, oh, you want to make your sub mono, and you know they give you like really bad advice. I would say don't worry about it for the most part. Just make it sound good, and then kind of tinker with it a little bit later. If you want to know how to make it more stereo, there's several ways you can do it. You can get like a band splitter of some sorts, so you can, depending on how you made this bass anyways, if you like the high end in a different plugin or something, just add stereo width by anything. You can add chorus. That's one I do a lot with like a Faceplant or Serum, is I add just chorus or hyper dimension, just separate the bands. You know, there's so many different ways you can make it wider. Just make it wider. The sound design is nice, and you have this like background thing that is really wide too, so I like that a lot. Very nice. Very screamy. Your sound is pretty dull. I think this is partially because you have a very mono song here. It might fix the issue if you make it more stereo, but I don't know for certain. Things to make it more interesting. If you have like a crash cymbal playing a quarter note rhythm or something, pan it left to right alternating. So like, just have it alternate from left to right, and it'll make the stereo space a bit more interesting, so it's not just everything in the center. Feel free to pan things left to right anyways. If you have a tambourine, you can pan to the right just a little bit and have the crashes on the left side, and that adds like a really nice depth to your song that a lot of people don't even know how to do. You can even do it with basses if you wanted to, or not, like, I don't mean like bass, like your main bass, but like supporting elements in your song, like that screech. You could pan it if you really wanted to. It depends on how you do it, but you can get really far with just panning your cymbals. I feel like the dullness of your sound is primarily because of the stereo width being really, really mono. So the snare's too loud. I'm not sure, like, if this is like a new thing with Top producers just making their snare fucking 200 decibels above everything else. You need to turn this down. It just sounds really overblown. Some people like it. I think this kind of comes up to like a personal preference to some degree. But I think most people would agree if you turned it down, say 4 decibels, it probably sound fine. Like between 2 or 4 decibels, turn it down that much, and you should be good. Otherwise, pretty decent song. Again, it's not like super interesting to me to like give you a high five on it, but it's passable. It's palatable. You could put this in some venue and it'll probably go off live for a bit. But it's not memorable. Nobody would know what kind of song this is. Nobody would know who make it or remember. It's okay. All right, on to the next one. Let me pull one up. I wonder if we got any more responses since... No, I didn't. Okay, so next person would be Hollow Point. Oh man, the X's replacing the O's. I love it. Love the dubstep names. So mixing, mastering, sound design. No specific feedback notes. Okay, put this puppy in. X. Gosh. When it comes to like these dubstep names, I mean, it's a good idea if you want to be like searchable. I mean, fuck, dude, when I was first making my name, I was like, what if I make the O the X? Which probably would have been better, but I mean, it leaves it up to people pronouncing your name really wrong or being really confused how to pronounce your name. I think hollow, like it makes sense, but when I see the PXINT, I think of print, hollow print. But I get it. I kind of understood it. You got like the O's being the X's. Like I think it's fine. It's cool. Okay, we'll listen to it all the way through. I'll make my notes like I usually do. Yeah, I kind of didn't explain like the way I do the feedback. But I listened to the entire song all the way through, put down my main notes while listening, and then just go from there. I'll read some chats since you guys seem to be talking a lot more. Oh, Kusas was here. Yo. Alright, Kusas. Well, if you watch this later, then just know I said what's up. The snare is 4 times as stereo as the bass. Yeah. I mean, a lot of snares will have just a ton of stereo in them. Are you allowed to point out what we like and not to? Yeah, you guys can like say whatever you want in the chat. I mean, this is meant to be something that you can go back on and just like watch and look for notes, look for other things we wasn't saying. So I think for feedback from you guys, it's totally warranted. You guys can give your opinions. I mean, I'm only one person anyways. I just happen to know a lot of the technical parts and how to fix it. That's kind of what I'm doing, is I give you like direction. I don't like giving feedback and not explaining how to fix it or like what I mean, because a lot of producers, they've done that where they're like, yeah, your snare's shit, dude. And it's like, cool, like what was wrong with the snare in the first place? Or like someone will say, yeah, your build up sucks. It's really bad. And it's like, okay, but like how do I fix that? You know, I don't know what makes it bad. I don't know what makes it good. It's like there's a lack of understanding between the person giving feedback and the person who sent the song to get feedback. I'd say mono sub, but as soon as you hit like, as soon as you can throw that rule out the window. Yeah, I kind of think so. Like, the main thing people like argue about is playing it live. So like they're really concerned with the sub bass phase canceling in its space because apparently the speakers are mono, but I don't think that's how sound systems are anymore. I think sound systems are stereo, so it should be fine. I kind of don't understand like the major concern there, because you're playing them all on different speakers. They're all gonna have latency of some sort, and I mean, just acoustics are never gonna be perfect anyways. Um, but I think it's a good general rule to have the very sub like your the lowest frequency be mono. Like it's fine if it is mono. You can have literally the second harmonic can be stereo. It'll be fine. You feel the sounds line, but the flow is kind of draggy. Yeah, I didn't even really comment on the flow. It's just like a basic flow. You can also fill the stereo space with convolve or high reverb. Yeah, I mean reverb is like a really easy way to fill out some stereo space. But the thing I think needs to be commented on is like, even though yes, stereo space can be filled with like reverb and stuff, you still have the dry sound that is there. And people usually hear the dry sound first, and reverb you can only make it so loud to where it doesn't drown out the song. So I think like the first priority in sound design is making the dry sound stereo, and if you want to add more energy or like room, you can add reverb in that. You heard about the Amazing Digital Circus? I've heard about it. I don't know anything else about that. No, not the high five. 16. It is, I believe they are mostly stereo, but the sub should be the monophonic speakers sound still clashes with each other. Yeah. I feel like I should like do some kind of study on exactly what happens or something, because I think acoustics is really interesting, and once I start like playing shows, I can probably dive into more of it, because I do care about songs being played out, and that's what like matters the most when you make a song. I guess if you're gonna be DJing, Okay, move on to Hollow Point. Let's just listen to the entire song. Let's get some notes. Okay. Uh, actually, pretty had a lot of notes here. I kind of like this. Um, I feel like the mixing was like unique, but also like kind of detrimental in a big way. Um, I'll go down the notes one by one. I didn't really comment on this because this is pretty much the same thing. Anyways, cool intro. Very big cathedral. Um, ambiance. Like, damn, if you were an ambient producer, you'd be destroying it out there, man. You'd be making people fall asleep. People would fucking sleep to that ambience right there if you made it, I don't know, like a piano or some shit. But in seriousness, it's a good intro. I like it, enjoy it. I kind of start getting a problem once the bass comes in. The bass just seems really lazy. It sounds like it's just a saw wave with like a bit of unison, and that's it. Like, come on, man, work on it a little bit more. Put a little bit more attention in there, because it's not like that pleasant. You could probably low pass it or something, or even put an amp on there. Just something. The buildup is pretty jarring just because it feels like the ambience is just bleeding through the entire buildup. Switch it up here. Just like the last song, the thing they did well is they like cut away from the ambience or the previous melody and kind of they added to it. So they added like that weird detune thing I was talking about. You could pitch it up. You could add some weird effect like a flange or something. So just put a snare there and like a kick snare thing there and just repeat it there. It's pretty lazy production. You need to work on this and like make your build up interesting. I'm imagining this playing out in a live set and just this build up that's not really building any energy. It just sounds like you're playing a snare over like an ambient song. And I feel like it clashes a lot anyways, because you're still playing that melody in here, that chord progression, and it's not really a point where you should be doing that, and it takes away from building the energy. In a weird way, it makes it seem like you're going to make the drop like a melodic dubstep drop. And it would make sense if it were that case, but it's not. You're making a tear out song. So suspend the chord progression to just be the root note or the first chord, and play that first chord to the entire build up, and that'll even allow you to like add effects, more effects to it, like pitching it up or something. Good job making it like mono, bringing it in. I like the subtle detail of like the white noise just in the back. It makes it seem like an authentic like tape recording or something. Like it's on the noise floor. I think your fake out's great. It works really well. And then yeah, then you have to like change the snare too. I forgot to add that. It's just like really muddy sounding. It might because you have a kick layered with it, which also sounds kind of weird to me. But you need to change it up here with the snare. Just add a different one or take the kick out. I think there is a big mixing issue here, and I kind of started listening a bit more, and I think it is a sidechain issue. So if you listen carefully, I should probably like ask people to make these more these downloadable so I can look at them in FL Studio and like see what's going on, because I feel like I would have a better idea of why it sounds like this. But when I'm hearing this kick and the snare, I hear like a doubling kind of sound, like a bow tie effect, I think. I feel like I'm hearing the kick twice. And I feel like the kick low end is interfering with the low end of the bass or something. I'm just praying it's not because it's a bad kick. I think the mixing of the drums need a lot of work. That's like your main priority in this. And your drum selection just needs to be changed anyways. I think these drums are just not doing it for you. They're not doing you justice. I can help with the drum selection a little bit and giving you an idea. So it kind of think of like the sounds you have as like a sound palette. Your bass is really like scooped. It has a scooped sound to it. It's very distorted. Your drums are not like that at all. Your drums are very like kind of in the back a little bit, but they don't have any of that room to come with it. They don't have that energy. They're definitely not scooped. They have a lot of like low mid energy, and the kick, it doesn't just go to the sub really. It hangs around that kind of like punchy range in like the 200 hertz area. So you should choose a kick that doesn't have like that much energy in the 200 hertz area. It should just be more of a scoop sound like you have with your bass. And your snare, the same thing with your snare, I guess. It wouldn't really be scooped, but it would be like more like a brighter snare. And to be clear, you can probably save these with an EQ, but it would change a lot of things in the phase of like the kick and snare, and it might just be worth changing the drums completely instead. It's not a double transient thing, it's like the low end. I'm hearing the low end twice, and it's like the low end is doubling, and I think it's because it's like phase canceling with the bass. Your sound design is great. I love the sound design. Very nice, very cool. Cool flow. I know the distortion is part of your sound design a little bit. It sounds like you're getting the distortion from the mastering. Like you're just pushing your master chain so loud to where it's distorting like that. It doesn't sound like it's in a tasteful like sound design way. What I mean by that is it sounds like you have like a reverb in there, but everything's just being distorted together all into one bus. And that one bus is just the mastering chain. It's like you don't have any clear instruments mixed in here. Like even your cymbals are distorting with the bass. That's why I think you're distorting it in the master. Don't do that. Distort it in like its own separate bus with like the basses. Have the cymbals be clean. And even have cymbals, I can't even tell because everything's so washed out. And also do the thing I said for the last song, like pan your samples. Nice. I can't speak today. I don't know why, but pan your cymbals left and right. Have them alternate left and right, and don't like hard pan them. Just a little bit. Yeah, and this is the most jarring, insane transition I've seen yet. Like holy fuck, man! There's nothing. No like down filters or impacts or anything. Yeah, literally nothing is here. Not even like a kick, not any reverb bleeding out. Like it's like a different song. I literally just started playing a different song on SoundCloud. What you should do instead is like add a reverb bus and let the reverb of that bus like bleed out here. Like only turn up that reverb at the very end, so the bass, you know, it just like bleeds out into this part, and so it's not so insanely jarring. Add a down filter, add an impact sound, something there to make it less jarring, and like you just hit pause on the drop or something. You can also tease that there is like a build up coming up or like another part coming up. You did it a little bit. No, you didn't do it at all, actually. I thought you added like a riser of some sort, but you didn't. Add a riser that goes up to the snare and cuts off when the snare hits. When the snare hits, do the same like convulsion thing here. So the snare will hit, and it'll just go dot 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 with some like impact sound coming right over it. But make it less jarring and less like, oh, he just played another song. I don't know what you're using for a sidechain. That might contribute to it being really off. Except with your sidechain, try to get an oscilloscope or something to look at where your kick is and where the sidechain ends and starts, and like how much phase cancellation you're willing to put up with. I'll switch my screen real quick. So like I'll just bring some song in. I'll use this guy. So an oscilloscope, literally, you can use Signalizer for this. It's right here. There's an oscilloscope feature. And it's not working because it's not on the right track. It's right here. You can see like the bass moving around. Okay, so look at this. This is where the kick hits. Can you tell where the low end of the kick and the sub align or intersect? You can't really tell. It's one smooth line. So remember, like a kick is mainly like a sine wave. It's going up and down, up and down, up and down. And when there is phase cancellation, you'll see it go up and down, and then just like silent. Like it's just a flat line and then up and down again. That's what I'm hearing, is like that doubling effect. You want it to look like this. You want to be all one waveform, just going all the way through. That is how you align your sub with your kick. That's very crucial. So get one of these on your master chain. You can even say like solo the sub. I wonder how it would look on this. Hope I'm not fucking up the phases. Yeah, so like this is probably an easier view for you. Yeah, so right here, like I kind of cut the kick off a little bit, but you can see the very end of it. Like it's all one waveform. There's no pauses or like parts of the song where the sub is gone. It's all continuous. That's what you're looking for. And that's where you can like align your sidechain. I use Sabrebox for all my sidechain, and so it like shows me a waveform. So if I, for example, put this in here and I put it in the sidechain, I'll turn this off. Like I can see the waveform here. If I like, I'll add a fucking kick, I guess. Yeah, man. This is the best kick of all time. So you can like compare your waveform and be like, oh, well, it's aligning here. The kick is this long, so I'm gonna trim the kick to be about right here, the high end. So the high end, I don't need to make it so long. and that's how you would usually align your thing. And you can even put it a step further. If you notice that the waveforms are off, like this is just magical. I don't know how it lined up so perfectly here, but say for example, like the phases were inverse, so inverse polarity. What the fuck is a kick? What kick am I using? Well, I guess it wouldn't matter. But like this reverse polarity thing, if I reverse it here. Yeah, so you can see it's like on the opposite now. If you see something like this, that means phase cancellation is happening. Reverse the polarity and that'll instantly fix it, because if you reverse it, this waveform will be on top and then it'll mesh together. So just do that. Using utility for sidechain. Ah man, the good old utility sidechain. The audio ducking. You should spend some time and try to look for things like that I just mentioned in your song already, because it'll go a long way, and I can hear it audibly. So make some adjustments, and make sure you try to like start with extremes first. So like make it really long, just to start out and be like, okay, well that's obviously too long. Then dial it in to where it's like palatable for you, where like you think you're okay with it, and then start using an oscilloscope and dial it a little bit more. You can tighten it up, make the curves like a little bit different. But as long as you know like what to look for and what the problems you have, that would probably be the best course of action for you. I'm gonna move my logo just a little bit off. I don't like how my logo is very slightly covering the play marker. Okay. All right, well that's the notes I have for that. I had a little note about the tempo switch, but it cut off. Tempo switch is fucking cool as hell. It just sounds good. I like that. Fucking sick, dog. Fucking sick. Okay, next one. From Scrush. Scrush mainly wants mixing feedback, so I keep this one a little bit short. I'll just focus on the mixing. Is a sub overpowered? Does a sub need to be brought back in some for main drop? I have an answer for you, and let's go find out. That's public. Sounds good here. Okay, mixing feedback on this. Yes it is. It is very loud. This part is pretty good. Kinda enjoyed that a lot. Your bass has like no mids. There's no mids in your bass at all. It's just the high end and then your sub. I feel like a lot of this is due to your master just being pushed too hard. Your snares are sorting a lot. I think you can fix this issue by not cutting the mids as much and turning the bass down a little bit. Or maybe it's not even the bass. It could be a lot of the mastering that you're doing, because I feel like the mastering, when it's like just sort of like this, I think the mastering is the cause for it. So just turn the mastering down a bit. If the sub has that like the blown out sound, then turn it down a little bit too. That would be my recommendation for that. I think if you turn the master down, the snare should be fine. The clap snare thing. Well, this is an already released song. Anyway, so I don't think any more further feedback would be beneficial to you anyways. But just for next time, when you make your next song, those are the issues you can probably fix, and that's the way to do it. So let's move on to the next one. Chasm. Let's see what you got, Chasm. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I wasn't prepared for that. I was taking a sip and you scared me. Okay. Fuck. Oh, for the love of all that's holy. My ears. All right. Dude, why is it so fucking loud? Jeez, man. Turn that shit down. Fuck. Intro. Intro cool. I like intro. Intro good. We like intro. I'm fuck with the intro. Me and intro go back. We're homies. Damn, why is it so loud? What the fuck? It's the build up, dude. The kick is distorting so much. It's just the build up. And you have this fucking woman saying hush, bro. Fucking holy shit. Turn that bass down. Gosh. What do I do with you? What do I do with you, Chasm? This bass is so fucking high and heavy. I can't think. I had to fucking pause it and restart it to mentally prepare for this high end. I almost spat out my fucking drink. Gosh, it's like, it's so bright. You need to turn it down fucking like 6 decibels. Get a fucking high shelf and cut it like 6. There's like a million chain lasers and keys. Dude, is your audience like a bunch of fucking like babies? You like dangling keys in front of them? That's like baby ASMR. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just turn like the high end down a lot. And it's just your machine gun bass too that's this fucking like loud. High shelf that shit. Or maybe I don't know about low pass, but just high shelf 6 decibels. 6. 6. Put it in print, someone. Quote me on that. 6 decibels, turn that shit down. That should be good. Oh fuck. Oh my gosh. This hits in like the wrong way, man. It like my ears hurt. They literally do hurt from this. What are you, if you're still here, what by chance what are you mixing on by chance? I feel like if you didn't hear this high end being this insane, at first either you have hearing damage that has made it where you can't hear past 800 hertz, or you're just like mixing on really shitty headphones or something. Like Post Studio and Soft Clipper on I mean, yeah, it's not like the Soft Clipper is like the issue. It's just the high end. What headphones do you use, or like earbuds, whatever? Fuck, I don't know how you wouldn't hear this unless you could probably be like mixing really quiet too. Hopefully, if you're listening to this on like max volume, you turn this shit up, and you're like on studio monitors or like, oh geez, they're open backs. Maybe they're just like bleeding out a little bit, but still, dude. Fuck. That's what I'm gonna say. Use references, dude. Those will save you so much time and like pain, because you have that song, and then you can listen to someone else's song that is like notably good, and you'll be like, whoa, why does mine sound so much different? Like, say I'm making this song right now. I'm like producing this. Oh shit! Wait, I need to change my screen. Like, say I'm like changing or I'm mixing like the first one. And I kind of like have a decent reference for what I like. It's like, okay, well, it's not too much high, you know, like the high I think is good. The sub sounds good to me. Like the mids are there. Just reference other songs, man. It doesn't take anything. I'm like, oh, well. There's minor differences, but it's not like too jarring. It's not too different. It's like within the same scope of each other, I guess. And that's why it's also important. Like maybe your headphones are broken, like literally actually broken, and like smoke is coming out of them every time you play a song or something. You just go in like your car or something, go on your grandma's radio, plug it in, hear what it sounds like on those, because maybe you'll be able to hear something that sounds off in those. And I'm not saying like change it to sound good on only one thing, but you want it to be like on every device, even like on your fucking iPhone speakers. I'm talking like the shittiest of shitty speakers to the best of the best speakers. Just make it to where it sounds like listenable on all of those. And you'll go pretty far with just that. Like referencing is so big and such a big game changer for your mixing, for like tonal balance especially. Like that's the term for this, is your tonal balance is really off. You have way too much fucking high end and not enough mids or even lows to compensate. But yeah. Holy shit. I need to like recuperate my thoughts. There's something at 56 seconds. What was that? What'd you do at 56 seconds? Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't like that. That like made my skin crawl. The sub shouldn't be panned left and right like that. I feel violated when it does that. Especially with like it fucking my ears like that in the beginning. You fucked my ears and now you're gonna spin around in the chair. Gosh, dude, have mercy on my soul. The snare's cool. That's one of the things I remember hearing in the drop that were I enjoyed. Really unique, like metallic layers. Pan snares are always the fucking same. It's like dong, dong, and that's it. This one's like a sping, sping. I guess a new note is change the bass. It's the same bass the entire song. Yeah, I mean, dude. It's the same bass the entire way through. Like, change that, man. I mean, it's like not even bad sound design. Like the keys are working. They're doing good with it. It's you need to just turn it down. That's literally it. I'll submit a non-chain gun song. I'm not saying not submit it. I mean, your sound design was pretty good. It's just you gotta turn that shit down. Major skin quality, yeah. Like you know how like what's it called? Like that ASMR where like they have the ears. It's like bimodal ASMR or something. That you know what I'm talking about. Like they have the some like a model of someone's head, and they like do this thing or like I'm gonna get some potato chips and we're gonna crunch them in your ear. And you can like hear like it going from left to right. It's supposed to be like a relaxing experience, but for some reason for me, I guess I'm the only one that gets fucking freaked out by that shit. It's weird. And the low end is like when you get stereo in the low end like you just did, it's ah. It also kind of makes me feel like I'm sick too. Like you know how sometimes you're sick and you can only hear like sub frequency sounds through one ear. It's like that. Like it makes me feel like I'm sick and like I nibble my nose or something. I don't know. I it's the best way I can describe it. Just yeah, don't mess with the sub like that, man. I don't really have many other notes. I mean, I already mentioned the bass is yeah. The flow's pretty cool. I like the flow. I in general just add more variation, I guess. Add more sounds, more variation, different flows, more ideas. Really fine. Also, for a while I was looking at this and I didn't even know what I was fucking looking at. I thought it was like a Smiling Friends looking character. Like this character's looking to the left and this is like their nose. And this is like their chin and like their neck. And I was like, I don't know what the hell this was. It looked like a mole to me. But that's what I was like looking at and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is like their hair or some shit. I was so confused by this. But now I get it. It's like a woman with a shadow here, I guess, for some reason. I thought it was funny. Oh boy, it's gonna be a long day. Okay, next one. Metro Wolf. The man, the myth, the legend. After agony remarks is in the fucking URL. Bro, what the fuck? This like BC 80 kind of shit, like before agony, after. Okay. Alright. Let's get started on this. I have to put in your little name. Like a wolf. Use the word remarks too, like I made a fucking public statement. Dude, okay. Slept on thing here. Bro, those little things you hear in the high end are like, fuck yeah. I like that. Yes, we like ear candy stuff. Oh shit. Damn. That's sick. I don't really have any comments for that. Dude, that was sick. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I didn't have much to say on this, honestly. I mean, that's also because when you get to a point of the song, there's only so much more you can change and make it sound better. I mean, to make this like an even better song, the best of the best, you would have to do so much, so many things that are so different from what you have. It's not even worth. Um, but like once you do the next song, you know, that's when you're gonna see some more improvement on those things. I think the mixing is still like your biggest problem in this, but it's gotten better. A lot of the issues I think were fixed. I can't remember like every detail, but I feel like I had a lot more to say last time. Um, the main things I heard in this is there's still that kind of lack of energy in the drop, but I think the things you can do to fix it are a little bit easier this time. So like your high end on the bass, I think you can just trim the high end on the bass just a little bit and still make it like it can still be pretty good. And add more stereo probably. Get like a stereo slider and turn it up. The sub is like the big one though. I think you should turn the sub up in the drop. Get a reference of some other Tear Out songs sub. See how loud it is and try to make yours around that to where it's like big and thick. And that's pretty much it for the mixing. The kick, I'm just not a fan of the kick. Just change the kick, man. It's really dull and just doesn't fit this kind of music. It's just like the wrong kick. Swap that out. This snare switch up. It's fucking cool as hell. I think is that my snare? That doesn't matter. It sounds cool as hell. I like it. That's all I really have to say. Listen to my song. If you're in line, then your song should be one of the ones that I listen to. Oh, Mecha Wolf, you submit twice. Same one though. I'll refresh. Is there any new responses? There's not. That was probably the last one then. Yeah, he's putting the notes. You don't know if he submitted it. Instant death. The only way you can submit songs is through my Patreon. There will be like a form you can fill out to get feedback there. But otherwise, it is locked to patrons only. I'm only doing this stream publicly because it doesn't really make sense to just keep it on Patreon anyways, and I want to build like awareness that I'm even doing these in the first place. So yeah. If there aren't any other songs to do feedback on, I can probably just cut the stream here. So guys, thank you a lot for submitting your songs. A little bit less this time, but I mean, first time's your first. You're gonna have a lot more submissions. Hopefully people will submit their songs more next time. Yeah, I can't wait to hear you guys' songs for next time. Hope my feedback was enough for you guys. I think my feedback is pretty good. Not to brag or anything. If I were teaching myself, I'd probably save so much time, literally years of work if I had someone giving me feedback regularly. But yeah, that should be it. So next stream will be next week at 5 p.m. You guys can see the stream schedule right there. And the other stream schedules are on the Patreon, and I'm doing a production video 5 p.m. every Saturday, production stream. I actually need to make a production breakdown, a song breakdown today of one of my songs, and I'll do like requests for the next one. So if you're on my Patreon and you are the top tier, submit me songs that you want me to go over and I'll break them down for you guys. And yeah, so I think that's about it. So thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.